Hey guys, I have a clear for floor 53 using DE Gojo. So DE Gojo, Toge, and Mahito are required for this strat, and you want these recollections as well. You want LMS, Unity, and then DE Gojo's banner rec. For this slot here, you can use any green DPS that's well invested into. So green Nobara, green Maki, Yuji, even green Nanami, as long as they're very well invested into, they should be fine to clear this. My Yuji is over leveled, so he's A5, grade 15, and he clears this very easily, but yours does not need to be this strong, or whatever DPS you're using doesn't have to be this strong. Obviously, I don't know what awakening your characters need to be, so whatever you have, just plug it in here, and then find your own rotation if you're not using Yuji. This slot, you can use any debuffer. For this stage, buffs don't work, right? This boss reduces your buff amount by 80%, so buffers are completely useless. So you can use any debuffer here. You can use SSR Yaga, you can even use Domain Megumi if you want, Teen Geto, Gakuganji. If you're using a C-Tech damage dealer, you can use Blue Geto as well. You can probably even use Yellow Nanami, but he's going to need to be really strong because his debuff is not that great. And of course, you can use Yuta as well, even though his debuff is also not that good. The point is, as long as your main DPS is strong, any debuffer here will work. You just can't bring any buffers. Again, your best options are Gakuganji and Teen Geto, SSR Yaga, but you can also use Yuta, Blue Geto if your main DPS is C-Tech, or Yellow Nanami as well. I'm just going to use Gakuganji because it's the easiest to use him. For this recollection, you can bring anything. It doesn't really matter, but you want to bring something that has a high P-Tech stat, so this base stat. The boss doesn't reduce this, but it does reduce this buff. So when I use this recollection during the fight, it's not actually giving me 65%. It lowers it down to like 10% or something like that. So which recollection doesn't really matter. Just bring one that has only P-Tech, or whatever your main stat is on your character, bring one that has the highest of that main stat. So the rotation I'm going to show you guys is one where DE Gojo gets his ult up by turn 4. But he doesn't need that in order to clear. As long as your damage dealer is strong enough. For example, my team, I can just ult on turn 5 and it doesn't really change anything. I can still clear just fine. But I'm going to show you guys the maximum damage output rotation, which involves Gojo ulting on turn 4. And for that to happen, you have to crit every turn during the first 3 turns in order to proc LMS. And the reason it's so hard to gain ult gauge on this floor is because this buff here, and then Unity's buff, and even Toge's skill 2 ult gauge, regeneration, it's all nerfed by this weakening effect. Because of that, it's really hard to get your ult when you want it. But with this setup, you're able to get it by turn 4. Okay, we got 1 crit. We just need 2 more. Whoever your debuffer is, make sure you're bringing some kind of CE regen recollection on them, and then start debuffing immediately. We're going to skill 2 on Yuji. Nice, we just need 1 more crit on turn 3. So that's 1 turn of Gaku debuffs. 1 more crit Gojo. Another skill 2 on Yuji. Nice. This is 2 turns of Gaku debuffs. Remember that Gakuganji's maximum debuff is 4. So we're going to ult here, and on the 3rd turn, we're going to hit him with a skill 3 from Yuji. Again, the buff from this recollection is very much reduced, so it doesn't matter too much what you bring. It's not going to change his damage output by that much. This was the only RNG, him critting on the first 3 turns. And again, if your team is strong enough, you don't need him to ult on turn 4. You can just ult on turn 5 instead. Okay, now our final turn of Gakuganji debuffs, and then we're going to combo ult on these 2. As you can see here, that recollection, it's getting reduced by 52%, so my buff is only 13, which is something, of course, but it's not great. This will do a lot of damage. If your Yuji's as strong as mine, then it'll definitely break the boss. Even if he isn't, you'll break the boss next turn. Okay, and now we just finish it off. Pretty simple. Again, you can bring any main green DPS. SSR green Maki, green Nobara, green Megumi, Yuji, probably even green Nanami, although I've never used him so I don't know how strong he is. So yeah, try it out, give it a shot. It should be pretty simple as long as you follow a rough rotation similar to this. And I hope this was helpful. Bye guys.